Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, My Life with Carolyn. The starring players.
This is Brian Ahern.
This is Mary Astor.
This is Alan Jocelyn.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players and RKO Radio Pictures' delightful comedy of marital hijinks, My Life with Carolyn. It stars Mary Astor as Carolyn, Brian Ahern as her long-suffering husband, Anthony, and Alan Jocelyn as the other man. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in My Life with Carolyn.
My Life with Carolyn is the story of a man whose wife had an incurable urge to romance. As a matter of fact, my wife fell in love with every man she met.
Oh, that sounds bad, Mr. Mason.
Well, maybe it was every other man. You see, Carolyn had a complex. She emotionalized the role that a woman is supposed to play in a man's life, and consequently, she was a sucker for any man with a weakness that needed overcoming.
Then she must originally have fallen in love with you because of some weakness.
Oh, yes, she did. And it was wonderful while it lasted.
Your romance?
No, my lumbago.
Oh.
That was my weakness. But after it got better, the trouble really started. But nothing daunted, I evolved a little stunt that eventually enabled me to cure my wife completely.
Completely?
Completely. She'll never again think that she's in love with another man.
Well, tell us, how did you work it?
Oh, my trick was quite simple. You see, whenever Carolyn went away on a vacation, she always fancied herself in love with some man who seemingly needed her. And I could always expect a wire saying she was flying back to see me. But last winter, I pulled the trick that cured her. Counting on the element of surprise, I flew to her. It was while she was vacationing in Miami with her father. I was working in my New York office.
Mr. Mason,
Yes?
your father-in-law is calling you from Miami, Florida.
Oh, put him on. Hello, Father.
Anthony, did you get a wire from Carolyn saying that she was flying to New York to see you?
Yeah, just now. When's she leaving?
Not till tomorrow morning.
Fine. I think I'll beat her to the punch. I'll take the plane for Miami this afternoon.
Good idea.
Who is it this time?
Oh, a sculptor named Paul Martindale. They were dancing the other night and he fainted. That got her. Then he convinced her that she could be his inspiration, the guiding light that will lead him to artistic glory. Unquote.
So now she wants to be a guiding light, eh?
Remember last time when it was a poet and she was a torch in the wilderness?
Yeah, seems your daughter is very inflammable. Well, that's my life with Carolyn. Thanks for calling, Father. Hold the fort for me. I'll arrive in a few hours. Cleared for action.
Before we go to the airport, Carolyn, you must set the date of our marriage.
I've told you a dozen times, Paul. I'll marry you just as soon as I arrive and can get my husband's consent.
What happens if you can't get Anthony to consent?
Oh, Father.
Well, surely you wouldn't let selfishness interfere with Carolyn's happiness.
Father's just being difficult. He likes Anthony.
I didn't like him well enough to marry him.
Well, I should hope not.
Carolyn did. But what I'm wondering is how Anthony will feel about all this.
Oh, what possible difference can that make?
Well, we'll soon find out. Look out the window. Coming up the driveway.
Oh, Anthony.
Huh? You mean...
My husband.
My gosh.
Should I pick him up or just sweep him under the rug?
Don't be crude, Father. Help him up.
Oh, anyone home?
Straighten up, Paul. How do you feel?
Terrible. I don't know what to say.
How about goodbye?
Ah, where is everyone?
Coming, Anthony. He may be unreasonable, so let me handle this, Paul.
All right, now back you up in everything you say.
Yeah, in fact, he'll stand right behind you.
Father.
Oh, it's unbelievable. This is positively unbelievable.
What?
My reaction to your vacations, darling. Why, whenever I see you after you've been away, it's love at first sight, all over again. Here, let me kiss you.
Anthony! we're not alone.
Huh? Oh, hello, Father.
Oh, hello, Anthony. This is Paul Martindale.
Oh, hello, Mr. Martindale. I'm sure you don't object to seeing a man kiss his wife, do you?
Well, yeah, I mean, no.
Paul, Paul's a wonderful sculptor. He works very hard.
Always chiseling, eh?
Yes, I do.
Don't mind Anthony's bad jokes, Paul. He doesn't understand art.
Oh, that's not true, Paul. Why, I was the first man in New York to hang a calendar upside down and take a prize in an exhibit of modernistic art.
I think I see what you mean.
Well, are you married, Paul?
Well, no, not yet.
Oh, you mean you're going to be?
Well, I think so. At least, I hope so.
Of course you are, Paul.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Paul's engaged to a married woman.
He is? Brave man. I hope her husband's a poor shot, Paul.
A poor... What, you think he might shoot me?
Well, you can never tell about husbands. That new lipstick tastes much better, dear.
Anthony.
Well, I hope her husband is more broad-minded than I, but just in case he isn't, what flowers would you prefer, Paul?
Well, I like chrysanthemum. Are you a good shot?
Well, hate to boast, and I've probably slipped a little, but I used to be the best shot at the Rod and Gun Club. Oh, boy, how I used to bag those ducks.
Ducks?
What happened? Did I say something?
Well, Paul's allergic to water.
Water? Where's the water?
Nowhere. It's suggestion. You know, psychology.
No, as a matter of fact, I don't know psychology.
Well, then that's it, all right. You see, you mentioned ducks. Ducks suggest water, and water makes Paul faint. Isn't it simple?
What happened? Where am I?
You're right here among friends. It seems I mentioned that I was a duck hunter. I better not say that again, or he'll start bouncing.
Well, one of you help me lift him up.
I picked him up the last time.
Don't tell me that this is a habit.
I'm awfully sorry. I think I'd better go now.
I think so, too. I'll help you to the door, Paul.
Oh, thank you. Awfully nice to have met you, Anthony.
Oh, thanks. Hurry back, Caroline, sweetie.
Yes, dear. Coming, Paul?
Do you suppose Anthony knows about us?
Oh, how could he?
He looked awfully suspicious, and the way he talked about shooting, I didn't like that. I can't help it if I'm sensitive. An artist must be.
I know, Paul.
And I deeply resent the idea of your being under the same roof alone with him.
Don't worry. I'll tell him about us the moment I go back in.
Yes, don't.
Oh, but I thought you wanted
Yes, but if Anthony doesn't agree to free you, what if he comes to my place and shoots me?
Oh, Anthony's very conservative. He wouldn't dream of shooting you before I called you. It wouldn't be polite.
Oh, well, I suppose it's something to know that you'll be murdered politely.
As a matter of fact, I think it's very romantic.
Yes, but I'll be politely dead, too, you know.
Well, in that case, I'll go into deep mourning for a year.
Yes, that'll teach him a lesson.
Certainly will. I bet he'll think twice before he shoots another man over me.
Shoots another...
Oh, dear. There he goes again. Now what did I say?
She has him back on his feet, and he's leaving.
Well, come back from the window before she looks up and sees you.
Oh, by the way, thanks for calling me, Father. But now that I'm here, I still don't quite know what to do about this Paul matter.
Well, just make certain that she doesn't get a chance to bring up the subject of divorce before she's accustomed to having you around again, that's all.
I hope you're right.
Well, I know I'm right. Oh, here she comes. I'll duck out and leave you alone.
Anthony, didn't you get my wire saying that I was flying to see you in New York?
Yes, darling, I did. And it made me so happy that I decided to fly to you instead. Aren't you glad?
Why, yes. I believe I am.
Ah, Carolyn, I believe I'm more in love with you than ever.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about, Anthony.
Look. I brought you a diamond merit badge for your years of faithful service.
Merit badge?
Well, brooch then, if you must quibble.
Oh, Anthony, you shouldn't.
Why shouldn't I? Why, you're my wife, Carolyn. Or had you forgotten?
I told you, that's what I want to talk to you about.
I'm glad you do, darling. The words sort of feel good in my mouth. My wife, Carolyn. Carolyn, my wife. Either way, it's wonderful. Try it. Go on. Just say, my husband, Anthony. Anthony, my husband.
My husband, Anthony. Anthony, my husband.
Whom I love very dearly.
Whom I love very dearly.
Thank you, my dear. Well, now that we're getting reacquainted, I better skip upstairs and shave, so the next kiss will be a little smoother.
Oh, but Anthony, I didn't tell you about...
Tell me later, darling, when the lights are out and we're all snugly.
Oh, Anthony... Well, darn it, I tried. Hello, Paul.
Yes, Carolyn. What did he say when you told him?
Nothing. I didn't tell him.
Why not?
I can't. Paul, won't you tell him?
Me? Why, I hardly know the man. It's hard enough to tell your best friend you want to marry his wife. But it's practically impossible to tell a stranger.
Well, I don't see why. If you can tell your best friend.
My best friend's a lousy shot.
Oh. Well, I can't tell him either. As long as nobody can tell him, the only solution is just to go away.
Say, are you calling from the house?
Yes, but don't worry. Anthony's gone upstairs to shave.
Well, don't you have an extension on the phone upstairs?
Oh, yes, but Anthony wouldn't listen in. He's the soul of honor.
What's she saying?
She just told him I wouldn't eavesdrop, said I was the soul of honor. Shh. They're planning to run away together. Tonight, he's going to get on the train at West Palm Beach at 9 o'clock. She's going to get on the same train at Hobe Sound at 9:30.
How's she going to get away?
She's going to tell us that she's going out for a bridge game this evening, and then she'll drive to Hobe Sound.
Go on.
She hung up.
What are we going to do? How can we stop her from running away with Paul?
We are not going to stop her.
You mean you're going to let her get on that train at Hobe Sound?
That's just what I mean.
But if...
Wait, I have a plan.
Hello?
Jenkins, I want you to be in front of Mr. Paul Martindale's house at 10 minutes of 8 tonight.
Yes, sir.
Anthony, would you mind explaining that strange order?
Not at all. At 10 of 8 tonight, I'm going over to Paul's to make sure that Jenkins drives him to the station.
What? You mean that...
Yes, I'm going to furnish the car and chauffeur for the man who's running away with my wife.
But why?
Why not? If Caroline doesn't go through with it, I've lost nothing by furnishing the transportation.
And if she does?
I don't think she will. But if I'm wrong, soon Martindale will be on the same merry-go-round that I've been on. And I'll have one satisfaction.
What's that?
I can always say I drove him to it.
The second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in just a moment. Now, a word from Lady Esther.
What can be more convincing than the proof you see with your own eyes, feel with your own fingers? And that's exactly the proof I offer you in the patch test. Proof that Lady Esther face cream does more for your skin in one application than any cream you've ever used. The patch test takes only 30 seconds. You just rub Lady Esther face cream on one patch of skin, like one cheek. Wipe it off, then see how much fresher that patch of skin looks. Feel how much softer it is to your fingers. Now, I don't ask you to take my word for a thing. All I ask you to do is let one application of Lady Esther face cream either prove or disprove every claim I make for it. I ask you to see the results you get at once, not a week or a month from now, but after the very first application. You see, Lady Esther face cream is different, because this one cream alone does the 4 most important things your skin needs. First, it thoroughly cleans your skin. Second, it softens your skin, loosens and absorbs the dry flakes. Third, it helps nature refine the pores. And fourth, it leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. Now, please don't go out and buy a large jar of Lady Esther face cream. The smallest size jar is all you need to make the patch test. All you need to see for yourself that Lady Esther 4-purpose face cream does things for your skin that no other face cream has ever done before. And the patch test proves it.
And now, Lady Esther presents the second act of My Life with Carolyn, starring Ellen Jocelyn, Mary Astor, and Brian Ahern.
Excuse me, Mr. Bradley. Do you mind if I take over here?
Well,
after all, it's my story, isn't it? It was I who cured Caroline of her romantic failings. It was I who let her go unmolested to Hobe Sound. And it was I who sent my chauffeur, Jenkins, over to wait in front of Paul Martindale's house and drive him to the station. It was also I who went to call on Paul that evening to make sure he would go with Jenkins. That's me knocking at his front door. Mr. Paul Martindale at home?
No, sir, I'm afraid he's not.
Oh, I'm sorry to contradict you, but if you go into the living room, I think you'll find him looking out of the window.
Oh, in that case, please follow me, sir. Mr. Anthony Mason to see you, Mr. Martindale.
Tell him I'm not in.
Oh, well, what do you say we have a little chat until you come back?
Now, look,
You surprised to see me?
No, that is, no.
Well, a lovely little place you have here. Aha, what's this I see before me? A dagger?
Huh? Oh, yes, I got that in Mexico. It's very old.
Intriguing, isn't it?
Yes, very.
Yes, I wonder what stories it could tell. Revenge on jealous husbands and unfaithful wives. Here, what's written on it?
Well, it's in Spanish.
Could you translate it for me?
Well, it says, do not draw me except to avenge your honor. Do not replace me except with satisfaction.
How very right. As a weapon of revenge, the revolver is a poor substitute for the dagger. Don't you think?
No, that is, I really hadn't given it much thought.
But you should.
I should?
Why, certainly. A man who's engaged to a married woman needs to consider every angle.
He does?
Yes. Have you ever thought of suicide?
Well, no. Should I?
Why, by all means. It might save you from getting killed. Oh, by the way, does the husband know yet that you intend to marry his wife?
I don't know.
He probably does. Those are difficult secrets to keep.
But did you... well, nobody could tell him.
Oh, no. I really ought to explain my presence here, Paul. Carolyn has gone...
Mr. Mason, I don't know what you think, but it isn't true.
She's gone out for the evening. What I was going to say was that since she's gone out and we're neighbors, I thought I'd make a friendly call. Perhaps you'd offer me a drink.
Look, Mason, I'm awfully sorry, but I have to tear myself away. As a matter of fact, my train...
Train? Oh, why didn't you tell me, my dear fellow? I might have made you miss it. What time does it leave?
9 o'clock from West Palm Beach.
9 o'clock? Good heavens, man, you'll never make it.
Huh? Why not?
It's 15 of 9 now. Why, you'll have to get on at Hobe Sound.
No, I couldn't do that.
Oh, why, certainly you can. Lots of people get on the train at Hobe Sound. My chauffeur's outside. I'll have him drive you there.
No.
Oh, yes, I will. Why, it's the neighborly thing to do. What's your man's name?
Muirhead.
Muirhead. Muirhead.
Yes, sir?
My chauffeur's driving Mr. Martindale to the station, Muirhead. Put his bags in my car and send my chauffeur in, will you?
But, Mason, you...
Oh, now do as I say, Muirhead.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm glad I thought of dropping over here tonight, Paul. It gives me an opportunity to kill... a little time. Now, why didn't he wait till I'd finished my sentence?
You wanted me, Mr. Mason?
Yes, Jenkins. Did the butler throw Mr. Martindale's bags in my car?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you throw Mr. Martindale in.
Yes, sir.
You are driving Mr. Martindale to the train at Hobe Sound, Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
And you'd better miss it, or I'll break your neck. Yes?
Jenkins speaking, Mr. Mason.
Did Mr. Martindale miss his train?
Yes, sir. I just took him home, sir. Alone.
Thanks, Jenkins. That's all for tonight.
What'd he say?
Paul's home again.
With or without Carolyn?
Without. By now, of course, Carolyn has gotten off the train at the next stop after Hobe Sound and is on her way back to town. Well, I'd better hurry over to Paul's house or I'll miss the fun when she arrives.
But Carolyn won't go to Paul's.
Oh, yes, she will. She's sure to think he's dead, and she'll go over to check up.
Why should she think he's dead?
My dear father-in-law, when a man persuades a woman to leave home for him, there's only one explanation if he isn't on the train, and that is that he's dead. At least that's what Carolyn will tell Paul.
Paul, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're still alive.
Well, of course I'm still alive. I can explain.
There's nothing to explain. When a man persuades a woman to leave home for him, there's only one explanation if he isn't on the train. He's dead.
Oh, but that's ridiculous. I'm not dead.
You are to me.
Oh, Carolyn, you must let me tell you what happened.
I will not. Were you on the train?
Well, no.
But are you dead?
No.
Well, then there isn't any explanation.
Yes, there is. Your husband was here.
Anthony?
Don't tell me you have another husband.
Well, does he know about us, about tonight?
No, not a thing.
Oh, thank heaven.
Yes, he swallowed the bridge party story. He just dropped in for a drink. I couldn't break away without rousing his suspicions until it was too late to catch the train at West Palm Beach.
Well, you could have driven to Hope Sound.
I did, in Anthony's car. It broke down.
What?
Jenkins couldn't get us started again till 9:35. It was too late to catch the train, so we turned around and drove home.
Well, what are we going to do now?
Well, darling, tomorrow's another day. We'll try again.
All right. You know, in a way, I'm rather glad we didn't succeed tonight. Anthony's so, he roused my curiosity this afternoon.
Oh, about what?
I don't know. He's going to tell me when the lights are out.
Carolyn, you're not going to spend the night under the same roof with your husband.
I guess I shouldn't.
Certainly not.
But darn it, I can't resist him. He can always rouse my curiosity.
Oh, but Carolyn.
I beg pardon,
Get
sir.
out, Muirhead. I'm about to tell Mrs. Mason something that's very important.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I'm about to tell you something very important, too.
Well, hurry up. What is it?
Mr. Mason is here to see you, sir.
What?
Oh! There he goes again. Muirhead, would you mind taking Mr. Martindale's head out of the ashtray?
Certainly, madam.
Well. Apparently I arrived just in time to do a little heavy lifting.
I can explain everything, Anthony.
Explain what? Now, wait till I get Paul on the couch. There, now. How do you feel now, Paul?
Terrible.
Why, my goodness, your hair has turned gray just like that. What did it? Worry?
No, cigar ashes.
Well, Paul, thanks for keeping my wife company. We better go home now, hadn't we, darling?
I guess we had. I'll call you in the morning, Paul.
No, you won't.
Why not?
Because you're not leaving here. Mason, I might as well tell you, I love Carolyn.
Well, that's very flattering.
Paul, keep still.
I won't keep still. I'm going to tell Anthony all about us. I'm going to tell him that you're the married woman I'm engaged to, and I'm going to tell him that we were going to run away together.
Only you missed the train.
Yes, only I missed the train. How did you know?
Anthony, then you knew all about us?
Well,
You knew I was going to run away with Paul, and you didn't even try to stop me? Anthony Mason, you've just been playing cat and mouse with us.
Yes, what am I, a man or a mouse?
A mouse.
Carolyn.
I hate Anthony, but I despise you, letting him fool you into missing the train.
Darling, you're getting awfully dramatic.
Oh, I don't care. I'd fallen in love with you all over again. When Paul didn't get on the train, I was glad. When you came in just now and were so sweet and dumb and unsuspecting, I felt terrible. I wanted to have you take me in your arms, and I was going to tell you everything. But now I hate you. I'm going home and pack my things and go away. I'm going to get a divorce. Ow!
Carolyn, what happened?
Oh, I fell down.
Oh, darling. Did you hurt yourself?
Yes.
Oh, darling, don't cry, please.
Oh,
don't.
go away. I hate you.
I'm sorry. It was the last thing in the world I wanted you to do. It's just that I didn't think you were quite right about your feeling for Paul. I only wanted you to be very sure that you'd be happy.
How can I believe you? How can I believe anything you ever do or say again? How do I know you really love me?
Well, think, darling. Just think. This has been quite a bit of trouble, you know, and a lot of anxiety for me. There must have been a reason I thought the trouble was worth taking.
Oh, Anthony. Anthony,
Yes, dear?
what were you going to tell me tonight?
Ha-ha. I promised to tell you when the lights were out and we were all snugly.
The lights are all out at home, Anthony.
Are you cured of Paul?
I'm completely cured of all men except you, Anthony.
Ah, that's what I've been waiting to hear you say. Shall we go home and get snugly?
That's what I've been waiting to hear you say.
And that, Mr. Bradley, is how I completely cured Carolyn of her interest in other men. I never have to worry when she's away from me on vacation now.
You sure?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, she's in Sun Valley now. I'm expecting a phone call from her any moment to tell me how much she loves me. Ah, here it is now. Hello.
Hello, Anthony. It's Carolyn.
Dearest, it's so good to hear you.
I got lonesome, Anthony, and decided to come home.
Oh? Where are you now?
At the airport. By the way, Anthony, I was just talking to our pilot, and do you know what he said?
What?
Well, he said he wants to marry me. He said that on foggy nights I could be his beacon.
And what did you say to that?
What could I say? Oh, Anthony, I'm on the beam again.
Oh.
And now he's fainted. Well, we're right back where we started, which is as good a place as any to finish. Music, maestro, please. Thank you, Brian Ahern, Alan Jocelyn, and Mary Astor, for a most delightful half hour.
Well, it was a pleasure to be here, Mr. Bradley. We know how much this radio program contributes to the Motion Picture Relief Fund and its country house. And we all feel it's a great privilege to share in that work. And now, before we tell you about next week's show, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Astor. Ladies, one word tells you all you need to know about Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder. And that word is radiance. There's no mistaking the radiance this new shade of face powder gives you. It's the radiance of a bride on her wedding day. A fresh, young look that I know men especially admire, for so many of them have commented to me about it. Bridal Pink has certain elusive qualities you won't find in any other shade of powder. It seems to wake up your entire appearance, make you look sparkling and alive. It gives new beauty and depth to your eyes. Many women say it even makes their features look smaller and daintier. It doesn't matter whether your hair is blonde, brunette, auburn, or brown. Lady Esther Bridal Pink is intensely flattering to almost every skin it touches. This powder isn't blended in the usual way. It's highly pulverized by the tremendous force of my patented hurricane machines. It's pulverized so fine, it feels light as a summer breeze on your skin. Yet it completely covers tiny lines and blemishes. And it clings hour after hour, always fresh and lovely, as though just applied. Decide right now to make a radiant transformation in your appearance. With a jar of Lady Esther four-purpose face cream and a box of Lady Esther Bridal Pink face powder, you're ready to present a new face to the world.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present Model Wife. It will star Rod Cameron, Robert Page, and Martha O'Driscoll. Be sure to listen. Mary Astor appeared through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of Our Vines Have Tender Grapes. Brian Ahern will soon be seen on Broadway in the new play, The French Touch. Alan Jocelyn can now be seen in the 20th Century Fox production, Junior Miss. My Life with Carolyn was presented through the courtesy of RKO Radio Pictures and the United Producers Association. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. You save enough on the largest size jar of Lady Esther face cream to buy a box of Lady Esther face powder. So remember, ask for the largest size. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther. Thank you, and good night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, Model Wife. The starring players.
This is Robert Page.
This is Martha O'Driscoll.
And this is Rod Cameron.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild players in Universal Pictures' sparkling domestic comedy, Model Wife. It stars Martha O'Driscoll as Joan Chambers, Robert Page as her husband, Fred, Rod Cameron as Ralph Benson, and Jane Morgan as Madam Benson. The Lady Esther Screen Guild players in Model Wife.
It's worth working for, Fred. Worth saving for. When I think of little Josephine,
Correction, dear. Little Joseph.
Josephine!
Joseph.
Josephine!
All right, darling. That leaves us only one way out. We'll forget the odds and count on twins.
Well, that's a pretty familiar beginning. Fred and Joan are young, harried, and hopeful, saving and working to make a dream come true. But as it happens, they both work for J.J. Benson. And old Madam Benson, who owns the place, has one simple, rigid, and inflexible rule.
No woman can properly serve two masters. J.J. Benson will not employ married females.
So, from 9 to 6 every working day, Mrs. Fred Chambers takes off her ring, slips it into her purse, and becomes Joan Keating, which is where the complications begin.
Well, neat and fast. Kind of type I love.
I beg your pardon.
I was saying you've got a mighty nice carriage.
I didn't hear you come in. You must be very good at getting into places.
Even better at getting out. Is Mother free?
Your Oh, you're Mr. Benson. Ralph Vivian Benson?
The Vivian was for a very rich aunt. She lost her shirt in 1929.
I'm afraid your mother's disturbed, Mr. Benson. She expected you an hour ago.
I know. In there?
In there. I'd like to see you get out of that.
Now, really, Ralph, you've been quite outrageous. Practically always smelling like a 10th Avenue barroom.
Park Avenue, darling. I'm still a Benson.
4 checks overdrawn this week.
I must be slipping. Last week it was 5.
Ralph, this is far from being a joke. I've decided there's only one thing I can do with you. Put you to work.
Not that.
Right here.
But...
Or I can keep an eye on you.
But, Mother, do you think that's decent?
Decent?
Well, my going to work and making more money. We have so much now.
You won't be making any more money. You'll just be earning part of what you get. Yes?
You rang for me, Madam Benson?
Oh, yes, Miss Keating. Come in. This is my son, Ralph Vivian Benson.
Let's keep Aunt Vivian out of this.
Miss Keating, my son is joining our staff. You're to be his secretary until further notice.
My secretary?
She'll teach you the basic office routine. Miss Keating, you'll find that he has ideas.
Yes, I'm sure he has.
As far as title is concerned, we'll call him manager of exploitation.
But I thought that Mr. Chambers, isn't he supposed to be...
Mr. Chambers' position will not be affected. I'm hoping that Ralph will act as a sort of catalytic agent to Mr. Chambers' efficiency. Use the office adjoining mine. That's all.
That's plenty.
Mr. Benson, would you like to follow me?
Are you kidding? Let's go. Look, Miss Keating, just one thing.
Yes?
What is a catalytic agent?
Oh, it's a thing that makes something else work without working itself.
It is? You know, I might even like this job.
Well, we can put the radio over there, Mr. Benson, if you insist on having a radio.
Absolutely. Can't work without a radio. And we can build a bar in the other corner and...
Say, Joan, do you think...
Just a second, me young bucko. Who are you?
Who am I? Who the...
Fred, this is Mr. Benson. Mr. Ralph Benson.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. Benson, this is Mr. Chambers. We do a lot of things together. Around here.
Yes, I just wanted to dictate a little...
Sorry, Miss Kay's my personal secretary. J.J.'s own words. Straight from the horse, old man.
Yes, but Miss Keating happens to be familiar
Couldn't
with
possibly spare her.
Perhaps around lunchtime, Mr. Chambers.
Lunch? That was the old Benson. No lunch. Worked right through. We'll have a tray sent in from Pierre's. You understand, Chambers? So long.
So long.
Now then, Miss Keating.
Employees are supposed to get an hour for lunch. It's a state law.
Really? Miss Keating, get me the governor. Impulsive, isn't he?
Mr. Benson, do you think perhaps that...
Not perhaps, Miss Keating. Positively. Let's call Pierre's and order lunch.
Rush every morning. Fella can't even get time to tie his shoelaces.
You can finish dressing in the subway. I hate to keep Mr. Benson waiting.
Well, it's too bad he doesn't feel the same way about you. Last night he kept you till after 7.
Well, he had a lot of dictation. Besides, you were busy with J.J., weren't you?
Yeah, I lasted 10 seconds flat. She turned my new idea down cold.
The perfume bar?
I tried to show her it was a natural, worth $100,000 a year.
Oh, it's a grand idea, Fred. A different perfume for every dress we sell.
Yeah, the pompous old bustle wouldn't even listen. Come on, we better get going.
Don't you worry, darling. We'll put that idea over yet. You're the smartest man in the whole darn...
Oh, good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Milo.
Good morning, Fred. I presume we're on time.
Oh, sure, if we sprint the last 2 blocks. I'm getting so tired.
Fred!
Huh?
Look, out there by the curb.
Say, that's young Mr. Benson in his fancy roadster. What's he doing out there?
Maybe he's got a flat tire, I hope.
No, he seems to be waiting.
Hey, for you.
Fred, this is no time to argue. If he finds out I'm married, I might lose my job.
You mean you want me to stand here and twiddle my thumbs while that skunk in Wolf's clothing tries to...
Darling, please. You stay here with Milo. I'll get him away.
Fine thing, all right. He has the nerve, the consummate nerve to drive right up here to my own front...
She did it, Fred. She got him away.
Yeah, but look, she's going with him.
Oh, my goodness, I hadn't thought of that. Fred, she's being taken for a ride.
No, Milo. I'm being taken for a ride.
And assure you, my dear Mrs. Marmont, that we shall be here to serve you in the same...
Mr. Benson's office, Miss Keating speaking.
Hey, it's after 6:30. What's going on in there?
Oh, yes, madam. Of course. The delivery will be made on time.
Now, listen, how long do you think I can stand this?
Don't you trust us, madam?
Sure, I trust you, but I'd trust you more if that pixie wasn't in there with you.
Well, darling, madam, we are very jealous of our reputation. Any attempt to doubt it will be strongly resented.
All right, I apologize, but remind me to show you the half Nelson in the tow hold. They're a girl's best friend.
It won't be necessary, madam. The motto of this store is more flies can be caught with honey than with vinegar.
Honey? Flies? Hey, what's going on in there? What?
Shall we continue, Mr. Benson?
Do we have to?
It's getting dark. Don't you think you'd better turn on the lamp?
Why? Sort of pleasant here in the dusk. Hey, what time is it anyway?
6:38. If there's nothing
What
else,
there is.
I did have a sort of dinner date.
He's a lucky guy. You, engaged?
Oh, no. Well, not exactly. Well, you see...
Joan, how long have I been here?
6 weeks, Mr. Benson.
The name is Ralph.
Yes, Mr. Benson.
You don't believe a man can change in 6 weeks, do you, Joan? But he can. I've changed so much I can hardly recognize me.
Ralph Benson.
Your mother.
Darn.
Ralph, this is positively outrageous. We stand to lose our best account in Los Angeles. Milo, read that telegram.
We'll cancel all orders unless shipment made this week. Arriving by plane 6:30. We'll be at Ritzmore Hotel, signed Irene Wells.
Ralph, you took her order yourself, did you not?
Well,
Yes, Madam Benson, April 6th.
Well, Milo?
Madam Benson, I told you. The factory delayed the materials and...
Stop cracking your knuckles. How I've stood you for 18 years is beyond me. Now run along and do something about it.
Yes, Madam Benson. I'll take care of it at once.
Ralph, there's only one way to undo the harm. I'll phone Irene at the hotel, ask her to let you take her to dinner and theater.
Now, wait a minute,
Spare
J.J.
nothing, my boy. But be careful of her. Irene's an ex-showgirl who found she could make more money in clothes. I'll check with you tomorrow morning.
There, you see, Miss Kay? That's what I get for taking this job.
You'll have to hurry if you're going to take Miss Wells out tonight.
You said that. I didn't. I've got a date with a girl named Joan.
But, Mr. Benson...
And don't worry about Irene. Someone will handle her.
Who?
I don't know. Maybe 2 other guys. Hello, Chambers. You still around this late?
No, I'm visiting my folks in Ohio. What's on your mind, Benson?
Oh, not much. You see, Irene Wells is in from the coast, and naturally we've got to entertain her, and I thought that if...
Oh, no, thanks. I wouldn't want to deprive you of the pleasure.
Look, old man, I'd be glad to do it myself, but confidentially, I'm after bigger game tonight.
Oh, on the prowl, huh?
My secretary. Get the idea?
I'm way ahead of you, brother. Really making time with her, huh?
Oh, she's a little stubborn, but I think she'll break down.
Mr. Benson, I phoned the ticket agency.
Did you say Irene Wells, old man? Well, really, there's no one I'd rather take out. The sweetest dish we have on our books.
Oh, Miss Keating, hear that?
I most certainly did.
Now, that's what I call cooperation. Now, you and I can go to dinner.
Mr. Benson, believe me, I'd be delighted.
Swell. Oh, and look, Chambers, you'll get overtime for dinner and theater. After theater, your time is, well, your own. Miss Keating will handle all the details.
Including the part where his time's his own?
Oh, no, thank you. I'll handle that myself.
Good luck, Mr. Chambers. I'll go make the reservation.
Now, remember, fella, this means a lot to the firm. You know, a woman's a very delicate instrument. You've got to play her like a violin.
Don't worry, I'll make her purr like a Stradivarius.
Everything the best. At our expense, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
You know, a secluded table, dim lights, all the props. That's my system, and it never fails.
Oh, it doesn't, huh?
Right up to date on batting 1,000.
Batting 1,000. Frankly, old man, Miss Keating isn't worth it.
Isn't worth it? What do you mean?
Well, just between us two, Miss Keating is knock-kneed.
Knock-kneed? Chambers, you must be off your nut.
No, honest. She's a regular capital X.
You can't kid me. I know she isn't. I'll lay 20 to 1 she's got... Say, what makes you so certain she's knock-kneed?
Yeah? What makes you so certain she's not?
Really, Fred, I haven't time to argue. Mr. Benson will be here any minute now.
Let him come. If he thinks he can play you like a violin...
What?
You heard me, a violin, and I'm not going to stand by and... Here, take this pencil and write.
Right. Write what?
Your resignation.
Fred, stop being a fool.
I just have. And you've just become a housewife.
Darling, I've got to keep my job for a while. We've only got a little more to save. After all, we have to think of Josephine.
Joseph.
Josephine. Joseph, what's the difference? We've got to think of it.
I've also got to think of my self-respect. Now, you write or I'll spill the beans to J.J. tomorrow.
You wouldn't.
To keep you, I'd spill it to her tonight.
Well, if you do, you won't keep me.
Joan, you really mean that? Do you mean you'd leave me?
Oh, darling, I've hurt you. Why, you're shaking.
Oh. No wonder. Joseph was almost an orphan. Oh, honey, kiss me, quick. There. Oh, that's more like it. Just like it used to be.
Oh, darling, everything's the way it always was. You and I tonight, why, our going out that way is just part of our job. It's worth it, Fred, for Josephine.
Joseph!
Josephine! Hurry, Polk, you'll be late to work.
The second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in a moment. Now, a word from Lady Esther.
Is there one woman listening to me right now who wouldn't want a fresher, younger-looking skin? Is there even one woman who can say, I'm perfectly satisfied with my skin. It's as soft and smooth as I want it to be? No, I don't believe there's a woman anywhere of any age who wouldn't want to improve her skin. Even a girl of 16 with a fresh, young skin needs the 4 important things Lady Esther Face Cream does to make her skin look lovelier. And I don't just say it. I prove it. I prove it in 30 seconds with the patch test. In half a minute, you can see and you can feel the exciting difference a single application of Lady Esther Face Cream makes in your skin. To make the patch test, just smooth Lady Esther Face Cream on one patch of skin, like one cheek. Wipe it off. Then see how much fresher that patch of skin looks. Feel how much softer it is to your fingertips. You see, Lady Esther Face Cream first thoroughly cleans your skin. Second, softens your skin, loosens and absorbs the dry, clinging flakes. Third, helps nature refine the pores. And fourth, leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. These things I offer to prove to you, not in a week or a month, but in one application of Lady Esther Face Cream. Just get the smallest size jar. It's all you need to make the patch test. All you need to see for yourself that Lady Esther 4-Purpose Face Cream does things for your skin no other face cream does. And remember, the patch test proves it in one application.
And now, Lady Esther presents the second act of Model Wife, starring Rod Cameron, Martha O'Driscoll, Robert Page, and Frank Nelson. It's later the same evening, a great deal later, and Ralph still hasn't brought Joan home. Fred is fit to be tied, of course. He doesn't dare make sounds like an outraged husband, since Joan's not supposed to have a husband. He doesn't even dare wait in the living room. So he's caught between the devil and the kitchen sink. Until finally the front door opens and...
Here you are, McBree. Save at home. Benson's service as best.
It's been a lovely evening, Mr. Benson, but it's really quite late and...
Gotta be a good soldier. Never give up post until relief. Call out the guard. What over the guard?
The guard, I hope, is in bed.
Well, we gotta fire a salute. 21-gun salute.
Oh, please, just one gun. It is late.
Okay, one gun. Ready? Aim. Up. Oh, sorry. Sneak attack.
Ralph, it's almost 3 o'clock.
What was that?
What?
You call me Ralph. I heard you. It's the first time you ever... Ah!
Oh, good heavens, what's wrong?
That face. Take it away.
But it's your face in the mirror.
Oh. Well, remind me to have it... Sorry, hay fever. Always hits me like this.
Try to hold your breath.
That's the stuff. Just hold my breath and...
I know. A drink of water. Wait here, I'll get some from the kitchen.
What's the matter? You got snakes?
No, it was the water. I burned my finger. I got the hot. Fred, what do you think you're doing? And why didn't you tell me we're here?
I hissed till I was blue in the face. I've had just about enough of this.
Where are you going?
Out there to get rid of General Burp.
Fred, you can't. Fred, no, please. I'll get him out of here in a minute.
Oh, yeah? Give a listen.
He's fallen asleep.
We used to have another name for it. Well, what'll we do?
What can we do? Just let him stay there. I'll shoo him out first thing in the morning. Come on, we'd better get some sleep, too.
Sleep? With that coffee grinder going like that? There's a guy that whistles at all crossings.
Come on, Fred. I've had a difficult evening. You'll feel a lot better in the morning.
Well, it's morning. I don't feel any better. In fact, I feel a lot worse.
Now, Fred.
Oh, look, Joan, you gotta pour that guy out of here. Gents will be coming any minute, and I've got to shave.
Well, plug in your razor and start shaving. I'll go talk to him.
Okay. But don't forget, I'm listening.
Well, hello.
Good morning, Mr. Benson.
Do you mind being more explicit? What morning?
It's Thursday. You spent the night here.
Oh. Suppose I made an ass of myself.
Well, not exactly. Though you did try to fire a 21-gun salute.
I wouldn't remember. I think a family of midgets has moved into my head. Say, you hear a sort of buzzing sound?
Oh, buzzing sound? No, I don't hear a thing.
That's too bad. I must be sicker than I thought. Oh, and I'm sorry, because I wanted to tell you something, Joan. Or rather, show you something. Look.
Why, it's an engagement ring.
I got it at Maurice's yesterday, on approval. I told Maurice I wasn't quite sure I'd need it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Maurice assured me I had nothing to worry about. Naturally, he's anxious to make a sale.
Why, yes, people aren't buying jewelry now.
A man like you, he said, with an allowance of $500 a week. Then he added, that ain't Le Foin. That's French for hay.
I know. I took French in high school.
Lots of girls would give their right eye to marry you, Maurice told me. And then he took my hand and said, if I were only a girl, I'd marry you myself. A Frenchman. What do you think, Joan? Does Maurice know what he's talking about?
You're sweet. And after you leave, I think I'm going to cry. But it's impossible. I'm in love with Mr. Benson, very much in love.
Couldn't you even call me Ralph?
Ralph, I'm sorry. Very sorry. Someday you'll find a girl, a lovely girl. You'll be very happy.
Well, I guess this'll teach Maurice not to be overconfident.
Yes? Come in. Oh, good morning, Sven. This is Mr. Benson.
Now, don't worry, old man. I was just leaving. But I do want to wish you all the luck in the world.
Who, me? I'm just the janitor. I come to fix the pipes.
And then, on top of all the rest, I had to stand there and listen to you call him Ralph.
You didn't have to. No one made you listen.
Well, what else do you think I'm going to do when a man's trying to marry my wife?
But, darling, I couldn't tell him I was married. I've got to keep my job till we saved enough for little Josephine.
Joseph.
Josephine.
Anyway, that's got nothing to do with it. How do I know that's why you keep on working? How do I know it isn't
All right. I'll confess it all. I'm passionately in love with Ralph Benson, and I lead a double life. Every night when you're asleep, I steal away to his side. Satisfied?
Perfectly.
But I don't know about you, but I'm going to work.
I don't understand it, Miss Keating. Mr. Chambers has never failed before.
I can't imagine why he didn't come to work.
Well, it's bad enough having Ralph out today. And here it is after lunch, and no one...
Morning, JJ.
Milo, it's not morning. It's afternoon.
Huh?
And I've been buzzing you for over an hour. Where have you been?
Who, me? Oh, I've been having lunch with a friend of mine. Very good friend. Name of Fred Chambers.
With Fred?
Greatest little pal in the world.
Milo Everett. You're drunk. You know how I feel about that?
That for how you feel, you old buzzard.
Oh.
I've been wanting to do that for 18 years.
Milo, where is Fred?
Yes, where is he? I want to have a word with him.
Not anymore. You can't have any word with him, with me either. We joined up today.
Joined up? For what?
National Oil. Going to China, 200 a week.
China? He can't go to China. I'm going to have a baby.
Miss Keating.
It's all right. Fred and I are married. We've been married 2 years. It's kosher.
You mean that all this time...
I had to keep working. We needed the money. I wanted my baby to have the best. No.
Now what?
Now Fred will be way over there in China. I'll be out of a job.
I'll have something to say about that.
But you made the rule.
And I can unmake it. Why do you think I let you work with Ralph? Because he needed someone to straighten him out.
But...
Makes no difference if you are married. He's found out that work isn't really poisonous. And when he gets over his headache, he'll be right back at his desk. Why, these last few weeks I've been almost proud of him. Those new ideas, the perfume bar.
That wasn't really his, it was Fred.
Well, why do you think your husband's getting a raise? Now, run along home and keep him from doing something masculine and silly. And if he's not back at work tomorrow morning, you're fired.
I think you're the sweetest, nicest, kindest person in the whole darn world.
By the way, what are you going to call the baby?
I'll tell you tomorrow, after I've had a talk with Fred.
Now, Milo.
Well, I guess I might as well run along. It's been a terrible 18 years, but I'm really sorry to be leaving.
Am I going to have trouble with you, too? Report back to work tomorrow morning.
You mean...
On one condition.
Yes?
Stop cracking your knuckles!
Fred,
Huh?
were you asleep?
Just lying here thinking. You know, Joan, about the baby's name.
That's what I want to tell you about.
Well, I've sort of changed my mind.
So have I.
I hope it's Josephine.
I hope it's Joseph.
Oh, now, honey, let's not argue. Josephine.
Joseph.
Josephine!
Joseph!
Will someone in the audience please flip a coin?
Thank you, Robert Page, Rod Cameron, and Martha O'Driscoll for a most enjoyable half hour.
We're the ones who enjoyed it, Mr. Bradley. It's always fun to appear on the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players. And a great satisfaction, too, because we know the benefits from these programs go to support the Motion Picture Relief Fund in its country house. We're all mighty proud to share in that work. Bob Page will be back in just a moment. But first, a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss O'Driscoll. Ladies, do you know why Lady Esther Bridal Pink is now one of the most popular shades of face powder? Because this one new shade is intensely flattering to 4 basic skin types. It has the amazing quality of dramatizing practically every skin it touches. You can use Lady Esther Bridal Pink whether your hair is blonde, brunette, auburn, or brown. It ends forever the risk of selecting a wrong shade of powder. And it's not only the color of Lady Esther Bridal Pink that's so remarkable. It has texture, cling, fragrance, everything you could ask for in a face powder. It isn't just mixed in the usual way. It's so finely pulverized, it spreads like a delicate clinging film of beauty on your skin. The instant you apply Lady Esther face powder, tiny lines and blemishes vanish. The texture of your skin looks daintier and more delicate. Even your eyes light up and your lips look lovelier. If you want to see a radiant, a truly dramatic difference in your appearance, try this. Smooth Lady Esther face cream all over your face. Wipe it off. Then apply Lady Esther Bridal Pink face powder. You'll gaze spellbound in your mirror, delighted with the fresh, new look of your face. Remember, Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder.
And now, here is Bob Page again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be very brief and to the point. Any day now, there will be a young chap coming into your town, into your neighborhood, into your place of business. The chances are he'll be looking for a job. And we're just asking you to remember this. All the things he learned in the service can be made to yield big dividends for you. He fought for you. Now give him a chance to work for you. Give the returning serviceman a boost.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present If You Could Only Cook. It will star Lionel Stander, Linda Darnell, and Dennis O'Keefe. Be sure to listen. Martha O'Driscoll and Robert Page can now be seen in the Universal production Shady Lady. Rod Cameron appeared through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, producers of That Night with You. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. You save enough on the largest size jar of Lady Esther face cream to buy a box of Lady Esther face powder. So remember, ask for the largest size. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night, everyone. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, My Favorite Wife. The starring players.
This is Greer Garson.
This is Richard Ney.
This is Gail Patrick.
And this is Franklin Pangborn.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in Leo McCarey's hilarious comedy of marital mix-up, My Favorite Wife. It stars Richard Ney as Nick Arden, Greer Garson as Ellen Arden, Franklin Pangborn as the hotel manager, and Gail Patrick as Bianca Worthing. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in My Favorite Wife. Nick Arden, a successful young lawyer, is appearing before a judge in the Los Angeles Civil Court, attempting to establish the legal status of his wife, Ellen Arden, who has been missing for 7 years.
Quiet! Quiet in the court. Sounds like visiting day at the zoo. Now, where were we?
The Arden case, Your Honor.
Oh, yes. Well, Miss Arden, as I see it, your wife, Ellen Arden, was lost at sea when a ship went down off the coast of Indochina.
Yes, Your Honor, 7 years ago.
Uh-huh. Well, the testimony's all here. Sworn affidavits, no evidence to the contrary. The law is clear. I hereby pronounce Ellen Arden, wife of Nicholas Arden, legally dead.
Oh, thank you, Judge. Now will you please marry us?
Oh, that's quite all right. What was that?
Well, Mr. Arden and I wish to be married.
Oh, but his first wife just died 7 years ago. Mr. Arden, do you plan to marry this young lady?
Yes, Your Honor, Miss Bianca Worthing.
Have you had time to think about this?
Your Honor, Mr. Arden is over 21, and will you please make the ceremony as short as possible?
We're going to Yosemite for our honeymoon.
Well, the man who'd remarry this quickly doesn't deserve to lose his first wife.
Well, I'll take the chance.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Take Bianca's hand in yours and repeat after me.
Brad?
Yes, sir?
See that the windows of Suite A are opened and the room aired. We're expecting a honeymoon couple, Mr. and Mrs. Arden.
Yes, sir, right away, sir.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes, madam?
Could you tell me if Mr. Arden has arrived?
No, not yet, but we're expecting him any moment. You aren't by any chance his lovely bride?
No.
Oh,
That is, not exactly.
not exactly.
No. I'm only his wife.
Oh, I see. You're only his... What was that?
Oh, it's much too long a story to go into. I'll sit over here and wait for him if you don't mind.
But, madam, oh, dear. Front.
Yes, sir?
There's a gentleman and a lady just coming in. See to their luggage.
Yes, sir.
Ah, good evening, sir. And you too, madam. Welcome to Yosemite. Sequestered seclusion among the sequoia.
My name is Arden. I made a reservation.
Arden? Oh, you're Mr. Arden.
Yes. Anything wrong in that?
No, not if you're broad-minded. I've given you and your bride Suite A.
Come, Nicky, darling, let's go up. I'm frightfully tired.
All right, dear.
Just a moment, Mr. Arden.
Yes?
Could I speak to you privately?
Say, what is this?
Are you coming, darling?
Wait for me at the elevator, Bianca. Now, what's all this about?
Mr. Arden, I have a surprise for you.
A surprise? Well, can't you send it up to the room?
Not in keep within the moral code laid down by the Hotel Association. The surprise I speak of has just crossed the lobby and is standing right behind you.
Right behind me? What the devil are you... Ellen!
Nicky. Oh, Nicky, darling.
Ellen. Oh, I can't believe it. Is it really you?
Why don't you kiss me and see?
Oh, darling.
Well, is it?
Yes, you're real, all right. Oh, and sweet, wonderful, oh, and beautiful.
Oh, that's what I've wanted you to say.
Where have you been the last 7 years? We all thought you were dead.
I know. Did I have a nice funeral?
Oh, it was lovely. Reverend Blake preached a wonderful sermon.
Oh, that's nice. I wish I could have heard it.
You haven't said where you've been.
Marooned on a desert island. And I'd still be there if a Portuguese freighter hadn't wandered 200 miles off its course.
Well, how did you get here?
Well, I read about you and your bride when I got off the boat at San Pedro. So I caught the first plane.
Oh, Ellen, darling, just to hold you again, to realize you're alive. kiss you?
I hate to interrupt, Mr. Arden, but is this a private love scene, or may I sell tickets?
Oh, what's that, clerk? What's that, clerk?
The whole lobby is staring at you.
Oh.
And may I remind you that you have a bride waiting around the corner at the elevator?
Oh, good Lord, that's right, Bianca. I've forgotten all about her.
That is quite apparent, Mr. Arden.
Now, you keep out of this. I've got to talk to you, Ellen. What room are you in?
I haven't any room, Nicky.
Oh, well, I'll take care of that. How about Sweet A? We had that on our honeymoon, remember?
Do I remember?
Clerk, give this lady Sweet A.
Sweet A? What will I do with your wife?
You mean, what will I do with her?
I could give your wife and you Sweet C.
Well, that'll be fine.
And where will you be, Nicky?
Well, I'll join you in Sweet A just as soon as I have Bianca settled in Sweet C.
Well, if this is a game of tag, will somebody please tell me who's it?
Come in. Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid, Nicky.
Of what?
Oh, your new wife. Did you tell her about me?
Oh, no, not yet. But I will.
Well, really, Nicky, I do think you might have waited 24 hours between marriages.
You might have let me know you were still alive. Here I am, married to 2 women. You realize what that makes me?
A very busy man.
I'm a bigamist. A bigamist.
Poor Nick.
And how am I going to tell Bianca? After all, I just can't barge in and say, oh, I'm sorry, my wife came back. Our marriage is off. Now, can I?
Well, does sound a little crude for you, Nicky. Would you like me to tell her?
She wouldn't believe it was you. You're dead, you know.
I don't believe it.
Oh, you are just the same. You were pronounced legally dead this morning.
Well, I feel awfully illegally alive. But then you always had that effect on me, Nicky.
Well, I could be arrested for the effect you have on me.
Oh,
Oh, darn that phone.
hello?
Is Mr. Arden at liberty to come to the phone?
Just a moment. It's for you, Nicky.
Oh, thanks. Hello?
Your wife is looking for you, Mr. Arden.
Oh, well, tell her I'll be right up. I'm busy. I'll be right...
Mr. Arden, we've maintained a reputation for respectability for 3 years. And we don't intend to lose it in one night.
Well, my reputation for respectability is just as high as your hotel.
Higher?
Yes, higher.
You've been up longer.
I've been up longer.
And what about my reputation?
Exactly. What about Mrs... my friend's reputation?
The less said, the easiest mended, I always say.
Nicky, explain the situation to him.
All right. You see, Mr... Why, it's as simple as ABC.
Now, don't tell me you've got a lady in Suite B, too.
Mr. Whatever your name is, my wife, that is, my bride... Oh, why should I bore you with the details?
Believe me, I won't be bored.
Oh, I think you would. I'll explain it when I see you.
In that case, Mr. Arden, I'll be right up.
He's coming up.
Don't you think you better go?
Well, where'll I go?
What about Sweet C? You have a wife there, too, you know.
Look, I've got an idea. Just as soon as I leave here, you call Sweet C. Say it's my office calling. Have to return immediately. Very important case.
And then what?
Why, then Bianca and I will have to leave immediately and drive all night to get back. Perhaps sometimes during the drive, I'll be able to tell her about you.
What do I do? You think I'm going to sit here while you go joyriding around the country with a married woman? You can think again.
Well, she's married to me.
That's just what I had in mind.
There's the clerk. Ellen, will you do this for me? Please. Just a moment. Please, Ellen.
Well, all right then.
Oh, you darling.
Oh, Nicky. Oh, Nicky. Kiss me.
Oh, my darling.
You miss me?
Every minute you were gone.
Oh, kiss me, Nicky.
Well, really? Mr. Arden, please.
Oh, hello, clerk. I was just going. Yes, well, goodbye, Ellen, and don't forget to make that call.
Never in all my experience in the hotel business have I ever seen anything like this. Madam, I am absolutely at a loss for words.
Oh, don't let that bother you, clerk. So am I. My, isn't he the Casanova?
Oh! Oh!
second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in just a moment. Now, a word from Lady Esther.
Did you ever notice the wonderful change in a room the instant you pulled up a shade or opened a blind? How everything brightened as the sunlight streamed in, how everything looked fresh and new? Well, I can show you the same sort of refreshing change in the appearance of your skin with just one application of Lady Esther face cream. I can show you a fresher, younger-looking skin as quickly as pulling up a shade and letting sunlight stream into a room. And I don't just say it. I prove it. Not in 30 days or 30 minutes, but in 30 little seconds. Yes, in just half a minute, I can prove it. Prove that one application of Lady Esther face cream makes your skin look radiantly refreshed, revived. Here's all you do. Just smooth a little Lady Esther four-purpose face cream on one patch of skin, like one cheek. Wipe it off. Then compare that patch of skin with the rest of your face. See how unmistakably cleaner and fresher it looks. Touch it with your fingertips. Feel the difference. Feel the satin-like smoothness of it. This 30-second patch test will prove everything I say. It will prove that Lady Esther face cream thoroughly cleans your skin, softens your skin, helps nature refine the pores, and leaves a smooth base on which powder looks fascinating. Remember, the patch test proves all this right on your own skin. Proves it in one application of Lady Esther face cream.
And now, Lady Esther presents the second act of My Favorite Wife, starring Gail Patrick, Greer Garson, Franklin Pangborn, and Richard Ney. Well, it's the next day, and Nick, having taken advantage of the fake telephone call from his first wife, Ellen, has been driving all night with his second wife, Bianca, pouting and angry beside him. But what Nick doesn't know is that Ellen has taken the plane and is waiting for them as they open the front door of the house.
Hello there. Why, Nicky, you old sweet thing.
Well, isn't this a surprise?
Oh, is this the blushing bride? Well, don't you all look just too cute for words? Just too precious. And Nicky, darling.
Who's this, Nicky?
Yes, you tell her, Nicky.
Why, this is, that is... Oh, she's visiting my mother. Yes, her mother and my mother went to school together down south in Carolina.
How very interesting.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother's best friend. It certainly is nice to see you again, friend.
Oh, Nicky, I bet you tell that to all your wives.
What was that?
Oh, you mustn't mind my fooling, but here I keep you standing. You both look so awful tired. Would you like to go up to your room?
Yes, I would. Come along, Nicky.
Oh, wait, I have a couple of secrets to tell Nick. A message from an old sweetheart. You all just run on ahead.
I'll be up in a few minutes, Bianca.
All right, but I'll be waiting for you.
I'll just bet you will.
Don't stay too long, Nicky.
I won't. Ellen, I could strangle you.
That would probably come easier than explaining to Bianca. You haven't told her yet.
Well, not yet,
Why
but...
not?
Well,
Well, how long does it take you to tell a woman, my wife's come back? I can say it in 5 seconds.
I just haven't had the opportunity.
I can say it in 2 seconds. My wife's come back. There, you see?
Nicky?
Oh, let her wait.
Nicky, are you coming upstairs, darling?
Yes, Bianca, I'm coming. I'll see you later, Ellen.
It must be great to have a wife in every room.
Ellen, that's not fair.
I ought to pick at you.
Nicky, are you coming up?
Yes, Bianca.
Are you going to tell her now?
Do you think this is the psychological moment?
Well, I'd call it the 0 hour.
All right, I'll tell her.
Nick!
Of course, it's going to take tact and delicacy.
But you've got what it takes, baby.
Sure I have.
Nick, I'm waiting.
Yes, I'm coming, dear.
I just knew you'd look like that in your dressing gown, Nicky, darling.
You did?
Uh-huh. What are you standing way over there for?
Oh, nothing. I'm just not sleepy, that's all.
Well, I am. Come on, sit over here beside me, darling.
I have something to tell you, Bianca.
It's about time.
Now, I don't want you to misunderstand. Just one of those unfortunate things.
Oh, tell me in the morning, darling.
Don't turn off those lights!
Why, darling?
Well, I always sleep with the lights on. Besides, I'm expecting someone, or something. You see, that's the doorbell.
But you're surely not going down to answer.
Oh, I've got to. It's an old family tradition. Head of the house always answers the doorbell.
But, Nicky.
Sorry,
Nicky.
honey. I'll get it. Oh, I must get that step fixed sometime. Yes, what can I...
Are you Nicholas Arden?
Yes?
I'm Johnson of the American Life and Accident Insurance, and I
Well, this is a delightful surprise. Come right in, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, what?
Yes, come right in. It's so nice of you to drop by.
Oh, well, thank you. I won't be a minute. Mr. Arden, have you received any communication from your first wife, Ellen Arden?
What's that?
I thought not. It's customary to check when the company has paid out large sums of money, but this is merely ridiculous.
Well, what's merely ridiculous?
This rumor that your first wife was rescued from a deserted island by a Portuguese freighter.
Oh, yes,
Together with Stephen Burkett, a gentleman who was marooned there with her.
Yes, I know. What? A man was marooned with my wife?
Well, according to this unverified rumor.
My wife and this Stephen Burkett? On an island together for 7 years? What else is rumor?
Oh, yes. The captain of the freighter said the woman, the one supposed to be your wife, always called Mr. Burkett Adam.
Adam?
Oh, yes. And he called her Eve.
Eve?
Adam and Eve. Delightful fancy, isn't it?
Yes, it's a riot. Tell me, is this Stephen Burkett staying in town?
Oh, yes. I believe he's staying at the Pacific Club.
At the Pacific Club, huh?
I'm sorry to have troubled you with this ridiculous rumor, Mr. Arden. You have been very kind. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Adam and Eve, huh? And she said the island was deserted. Just wait. Ellen?
Nick.
So, the island was deserted, was it?
Nicky, what's the matter?
Why didn't you tell me you weren't alone on that island? Why didn't you tell me this man Burkett was with you?
Oh, we didn't arrange it, Nick. It just happened.
7 years on a deserted island.
Why, Stephen Burkett is perfectly harmless. He broke his leg when our ship was wrecked. He was laid up, poor dear, for 6 months.
Well, that still leaves him 6.5 years.
Oh, if you could see him, you wouldn't be jealous. He's anemic.
Well, where is he now?
Oh, he's probably at the YMCA.
The YMCA,
Yes,
huh?
he always lives at the YMCA. He's so little and mild and so anemic. Nick, wait, where are you going?
I'm not going to the YMCA, Eve. I'm going to the Pacific Club. I'm just enough of a snake to want to see this anemic Adam. Boy, is this the woman's pool?
No, sir. They just hang around to watch Mr. Burkett. They go crazy every time he comes into the pool. Oh, there he is. They're standing on the high dive.
Oh, that must be the wrong Burkett. I'm looking for a mild, gentle, anemic man.
Well, there must be someone else. Well, this Burkett was lost on a desert island for 7 years.
He was?
Well, yeah, and the way I heard it, there was a woman lost with him. They called each other Adam and Eve.
Is that so?
Boy, ain't he the Superman, though. Hey, look at that physique.
Look, what's the quickest way out of here?
Just a minute. Are you Nick Arden?
Yes, what do you want?
Mr. Arden, I've got a warrant for your arrest.
Arrest? What's the charge?
Bigamy.
Huh?
Bigamy. Do you mind coming with us, Mr. Arden?
Not at all. I'd love to go to jail, but I don't want suite A, B, or C.
Quiet. Quiet in the court.
If Your Honor, please.
Please, Mr. Arden. What are you doing here anyway? Bigamy is a criminal offense. This is a civil court. What kind of a lawyer are you?
He's really a very good lawyer, Your Honor, but of course as a
And I want your opinion, young woman. I'll ask for it. Mr. Arden, what school did you go to?
Harvard.
I'm a Yale man myself. Now, which one of these young women is the bride?
I am, Your Honor. You married me.
Kissless? It's an annulment.
If you'd only come and told me, Your Honor.
Well, you know, Harvard man. Young woman, that laugh is going to cost you $25.
Oh, but Your Honor, I'm legally dead. Do you think it's nice to take money from a corpse?
Snappy little corpse, isn't she? That'll cost you $25 more.
But, Your Honor, she is legally dead. You declared her legally dead in this very courtroom.
Did I do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
No wonder the Court of Appeals is always reversing me. Well, anyway, I'm going to declare her legally alive right now.
But if you do that, Your Honor, I'm guilty of bigamy.
If you don't, I'll be guilty of murder.
But you can't do that. It's illegal. I'll tell you what. I'll annul the second marriage first. That leaves Arden free to go back to his first wife, if that seems necessary or advisable.
Well, I think I ought to wait 60 days, Your Honor. It's a difficult problem that needs to be considered calmly and rationally.
It didn't take you 60 minutes 3 days ago.
And look what happened.
May I go, Your Honor? I want to get out of here before I explode.
Certainly, my dear. I should be home myself. I'm anxious to tell my wife about this case. She thinks most of my cases are dull.
Well, what about me, Your Honor?
Second marriage is annulled. First wife, legally dead, is now legally alive and is still your wife.
Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye. Ellen, where are you going?
Up to the mountain cabin. I want to be sure that I don't influence you during the 60 days you need to think this out.
Ellen, wait! I didn't... Ellen! Well, the old cabin looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, and isn't the mountain air wonderful? Well, thanks for driving me up, Nick.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, thanks, Nick, and goodbye.
Goodbye. It's going to be sort of dark going down the mountains on those hairpin turns.
Oh, but you're such a good driver.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I don't think there's much fog.
There isn't any. Good night.
Good night.
Who's there?
Me, Nick.
I've gone to bed. What do you want?
I had a flat.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I haven't a spare. I had to walk back up here.
Well, come in. Now what am I going to do with you?
Well, I didn't want to come back here any more than you wanted me.
Where do you propose to sleep?
Well, there's a couch in the attic.
That's just the place for you.
And I'll be out of here by daylight.
And if you're a gentleman, you won't wake me.
Well, you can rely on me.
I know it, you Harvard man. Now, if you can stay up if you want to, but I'm sleepy. Good night.
Good night.
Now what?
Are you hungry?
No. Are you?
No. I just thought maybe you were.
Well, I'm not. Just sleepy.
Well, then, good night.
Good night. What is it this time?
Are you comfortable? Look comfortable.
Thank you.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Thank you. Good night, Nick.
Good night. Oh, what's the use, Ellen? You know the way I feel. I'm stuck. I don't care what people say about Adam and Eve. I was always mad about you, and I always will be.
Why, Mr. Arden, you know you haven't had time to think this out calmly, rationally.
Well, I don't have to think it out.
Oh, yes, you do. You go away for 60 days.
I'm not going to go away and stay away from you for 60 days.
Oh, but 60 days isn't too long. Now, let me see. November, December, 23, 24. But just about Christmas time. Sorry, Nick. You'll have to come back and tell me about it in 60 days, and we'll have a lovely Christmas.
You mean not until Christmas?
Not until Christmas. What, you again?
Hello.
What was that noise? What were you doing?
Getting this?
Turn on the light. I can't see. Good heavens. What is it?
My old Santa Claus suit. Merry Christmas, darling. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Nick, you fool.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, Nick, darling.
Thank you, Franklin Pangborn, Gail Patrick, Richard May, and Greer Garson for appearing with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players tonight. We are grateful for your delightful performances. And now, before we tell you about next week's show, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Have you the courage to look 10 years younger? Have you the courage to look lovelier and more romantic? Well, women say my new shade of face powder, Bridal Pink, does just that. They say they can actually see the years slip away when they apply Bridal Pink. They can see the faded yellow look vanish from their skin. See it take on a fresh, romantic quality. Bridal Pink is a new kind of shade, based on an entirely different principle in color blending. It's not for just one particular skin coloring, but for 4 basic skin types. Bridal Pink is equally flattering whether your hair is blonde, brown, auburn, or black. You see, Lady Esther face powder is so highly pulverized that it feels light as a feather on your skin. Yet it completely covers tiny lines and blemishes. It gives depth and sparkle to your eyes, new richness to your lips. Many women say it even makes their features look smaller and daintier. Surprise your family and friends tomorrow. Watch them sit up and take notice. Here's all you do. First apply Lady Esther 4-Purpose Face Cream. Wipe it off. Then apply Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder. Bridal Pink, the shade that gives you that happy, radiant look. That look of complete self-confidence.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present Paris Underground. It will star Gladys Cooper, George Rigaud, Kurt Kroger, and Constance Bennett. Be sure to listen. Greer Garson will soon be seen in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer production Adventure. Richard Ney made his first public appearance tonight since his release from 3.5 years' service in the United States Navy. Gail Patrick can soon be seen in the Republic picture, The Madonna's Secret. Franklin Pangborn will soon be seen in the Preston Sturgis production, The Sin of Harold Diddlebach, released through United Artists. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.